All right, everybody. So welcome to the Brand Blueprint podcast. And today we got my man William Brown on. And there's a lot of people in the space that are teaching things that they actually haven't done, teaching people how to get to $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month, or even $1 million a month, and they actually haven't done it. But my man William, we go way back to Quantum Mastermind. I was just looking through some images,
Mhm.
and one of the things that I do realize is that looking back then, even then, after we were paying what $36,000 a year for being in a mastermind, we still don't even look like those people. And so it's been another transformation, right? Both looking like some young pups on there, hungry. But one of the things that I do know is if anybody that was in Quantum Mastermind, that was the purest mastermind that was focused on business and intention. And so I'm excited for this guest today, Mr. How to 10 Million himself. I'm excited to learn something. So get a pen and a piece of paper together, guys. We gonna rock it out. And again, this is gonna be a full, transparent, just a raw, authentic conversation where you guys are just gonna listen in. So there isn't anything scripted. But I did want to make sure that we uncover a lot of things because you aspiring entrepreneurs or even entrepreneurs that are kind of struggling, this should be the brand blueprint to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Without
Yeah.
further ado, William, man, how did we get here? How do we get into, how to 10 million? You having the ClickFunnels award in the back. Um, how do we get here?
It's been a journey for sure. And quantum was a pivotal part of the journey. And you brought me back to that realization recently when you sent me those photos. And those photos were me in my first ever apartment about 9 months after I moved out of my parents' house when I was like 27. And things had changed fast. Things had changed very fast. I went from 2 years earlier making 3K a month as a part professional DJ and record producer, part trader, to fast forward 2 years and I was in quantum making $250,000 a month, right? And like you say, I mean, quantum was by far the best mastermind, the most real high level mastermind. And to this day, just like yourself, some of my best friends, I met them in quantum, and that's where it was a real boiling pot of different businesses, people at different levels on different missions. And there was so much to learn, not just from Sam, but from each other as well, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. I just remember there would be some mastermind calls where I would be out Christmas shopping with my kids and I would have my AirPod in listening to it as I was kind of going through my day. And I just would listen to other people and it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And we're all hunkered down during C19, right? Like still grinding for our business. We made some
Yeah.
pivots. And that was just the purest group. Just learned so much. And even looking back at that image that I sent you, I think Kirby and Smart was in that image, and then there was a couple
Mm,
other people in there. I was like, this is crazy because we didn't really know who was in that community until right. What was it? January of 2022. And man, that was a sad. That was sad for me because I still had a chance to get to one of the in-person ones
me
because
too.
every time Sam had one, I was having my own mastermind at the same time. So I never got a chance to meet some of those people. And there was a couple people that were really influential that was in that community. Mitch Gonzalez, and Alberto. Those were a couple people that when I was still waiting tables, I would watch their testimonials over and over again at the end of the night, brainwashing myself that if these people who were helping insurance agents were doing it, and I'm an insurance agent myself, and I'm gonna buy this program, this consultant accelerator, that I can do it. And I watched it for a week straight before I pulled the trigger on it, and I borrowed some money from my mom to get Consultant Accelerator. And man, that was like a game changer for me. That was like that investment right there in myself, the leap of faith, going from entrepreneur opportunity to opportunity. I felt like I had figured it out. And man, that was the best decision that I ever made. So I think that's one of the things we can really kind of start with, which is like that self belief and like investing in yourself and not trying to figure it out on your own and, you know, wasting time just doing random things besides just like getting a mentor, getting a coach, but more importantly, getting in the community of other people that if you don't believe in yourself, somebody else is just a little bit ahead of you, you can borrow their belief until you kind of
Mm.
come into your own. What do you think about that? How do you feel about the power of having mentorship, coaching, and being inside of a good community?
Yeah, it's absolutely critical because I remember, I think it was Peter Thiel that once said, the only reason I am where I am and you're not is because of what I know. And he said, you know, when you know what somebody knows, you can start moving towards getting what they have. I might not
Hmm.
have explained that very well, but
Right.
Sam just had all of this amazing knowledge and experience. And for us guys that wanted to get to where he was, you know, the level that he was at of thinking and of income and of business, quantum unlocked that for us. And that's why you see so many people that joined. And then fast forward 2, 3, 4 years, and these are now the guys, these are the people that everybody looks up to that are doing amazing things. And many of them, if not all of them, always credit certain things back to Sam and quantum. So it's pretty fundamental. I mean, if you knew how to make 100,000 a month, you would be making 100,000 a month. If you're not making 100,000 a month, then that should tell you you do not know things. And there's only one
Mm.
way to get those things, to get that knowledge. Go to someone who's making 100 or more thousand a month. And if they have a course, buy it. If they have a mastermind or a workshop, invest in it and attend it. If they have a coaching program, join it. Go and get the knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, you can then get on with it and make it happen. And that's what we've done, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And it's so interesting that you said that because what people don't understand is that like your belief system has to change. And when you get around people at a high level like us, you know, 10 million plus in businesses, you know, over that time, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. And I can't remember who said it, but the quote was, if you're working on something for a long period of time and it's not working, then you're working on the wrong thing. Right. And that's what I feel like most people are doing is they just keep fixing business problems with more marketing or more ads or more this or that they have other issues in the business. And it really just comes down to the fundamentals and the principles. And I think that is the thing that has carried the community in quantum to the next level is because everything was from principles when I think the era of Russell Brunson, this was before alexhormozi, when Russell Brunson was the wave, and it was either you were in two masterminds, you were in Sam Ovens' mastermind or you were in Russell Brunson's, right? And we
Mm,
had people coming back and forth like Josh, right? Like he was in that mastermind, but this was a pure one because he always said stick to the fundamentals, not the shiny object syndrome. And I ain't gonna lie, I was super down when he sent out the message about he was going to close down quantum. But after I realized that, I was like, well, why did he do that? It was like there was a bigger opportunity, and it's one of the things that I enjoy now was like having a community and building these things. But I always knew I could bet on Sam, right? Right? You know what I mean? And I
mm.
just wanted to kind of follow that lead. So I'm curious on how that truly impacted your business, being, you know, what I'm saying, in there and working hard and you know trying to come through the ranks of the entrepreneurship masterminds, you know, to be at the top level that you are now. How did that impact you to where you are right now?
Yeah, you said something a second ago. You said when you're high level entrepreneurs like us who've made over 10 million, and when you said that, there was something in me that almost just thought, we've come a long way, man. You know, we've come such a long way. And I was even thinking, I was at the gym this afternoon, and one of my high school friends sent me a message on Instagram, and it made me think, wow, some people, nothing's changed. They've got the exact same
Oh
job that they had
wow.
6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, same financial situation that they had 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. They live in the same place that they've lived for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And it made me think so much has changed. But internally, there's still a big part of me that is still the musician living in my parents' spare room, making 1, 2, 3K a month, wanting more, having these big dreams of being a famous, rich entrepreneur and stuff. And there's still a part of me that is in that bedroom. that that I don't think, I mean, for me at least, where I'm at right now still feels like a bit of a dream. You know, it almost doesn't feel real to have like millions of real estate owned outright, millions in cash, living in Dubai. And the reason that I tell you that is because one big thing that I learned from Sam, to bring this back to Sam and quantum, was identity, and how you've got to change yourself, your identity and your beliefs before you can go and achieve these things. Because if you don't do that, then you might be able to find success, but you will almost certainly lose it because you're not that person. You don't have those beliefs. You're not that character that is meant for it and that deserves it and can handle it as well. And I actually had a call a few days ago with a guy who was saying, you know, I feel like I got lucky. I made all this money and then I lost all the money. And now I live with my parents again and I don't know what happened. And I'm like, dude, it's probably because you didn't set the foundation, the goals, the ambitions, the plan, the steps, yourself. You know, have you ever had a mentor? It's like, no. Have you ever been to a mastermind? No. Have you ever worked on your character? No. What about your beliefs? No. So you've got to do this stuff first. And that's one big thing that I learned from Sam was the belief stuff and the foundation and the alchemy of self and the goals and all that stuff, you know?
Dude. So I still have the book next to my desk, and man, this is I just get excited when you start talking about this, because if there was one thing that drastically changed my life was going through that mindset training and consulting accelerator. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And the thing that really made the difference for me was the tracker, right? And then the manifesto. Oh my God, dude. So if you don't know what we're talking about, so there was the mindset portion of the course, and then there was this version where you kind of made a vision board, and then you made this identity manifesto speaking about yourself in the first person about things that you hadn't achieved, but you talk about them, about you achieving them. And that made all the difference for me because I mapped out everything that I wanted. And then it's funny enough, as I got up every single day, right, I looked at my vision board, which got me excited to get out of bed, even if I was tired or if I didn't feel like it or if I had a bad day the day before. It reminded me that if I stayed in bed, if I pressed snooze, if I took my foot off the gas, that I wouldn't be able to achieve those things. So that got me out of bed. And then once I got out of bed, doing the mindset of saying my manifesto, that gave me the belief, because most people just wait till somebody else says something good about them or they watch a motivational video, but they don't do it internally, which is why they don't have the belief, is because they aren't speaking it into existence for themselves. And life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I'm like, oh, if I speak this into myself, like as I'm saying, I'm going to have a $10 million business. That's why you're getting the chills, is because when you didn't have it, you were saying it as if you did, right? And then you
Yeah.
have it, and your mind is like, it's weird when you say it every day too, because people think you're lying to yourself. It's no, you're conditioning yourself so your subconscious will optimize to start being aware of the opportunities that can bring it to
Yeah.
you. And what I feel like is that most people who are struggling is they're too busy looking in the wrong direction or walking past the opportunities. Again, they're working on the wrong things and they're just trying to work harder, right? And so that mindset, that was a game changer for me. That was one of the most pivotal things that changed my life. My identity changed, the way I saw myself, my energy, like my focus, my dedication, my drive, man.
Dude, without a doubt. And I think second to that, you said something else. You said about the tracking and stuff. Now, this is one thing that I am massive on. I track, I mean, business is just math. Money is just math, right down to ads, you know, cost per acquisition costs, lifetime value, front end, back end, all of this stuff. I'm massive on tracking. And if there's one thing that's helped me make all the money that I've made, it's knowing the numbers and going by the numbers, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I had never seen someone so systemized, right? Like in the beginning, when Sam Evans is the godfather now. But I remember when there was so much hate on Sam for his YouTube videos where everybody was in the comments like, he doesn't blink, this is a simulation, is a robot. But the thing that I remember is that he had everything so systemized. And I had never been around somebody that had tracked everything like that. And well, the only other person, but he was like in our group too, was like Robbie, right? Like he was the only other person that was a super systemized, but he was coming through the ranks like us. So scaling with systems isn't what it is now, looking back. But the tracking was important because that kept you consistent every single day, and you couldn't argue with the data. And that's what Sam did, is he removed the emotion from entrepreneurship and put it all on paper, which is, did you get the job done? Did you check the box? If the box isn't checked, then
Mm.
there's no wonder why you didn't get the result that you're looking for, because the outputs are derived by the inputs. And if you didn't put the stuff in, how can you get mad at the process of not getting the result? And I feel like that's what most people do. Like even today, they're walking to the gas pump screaming and mad about the president and all this stuff about how high gas prices is, when they didn't fix the thing, which is you need to level up so that your income is so high that you don't even look at how much the gas costs in the pump, right? When I pull out my Amex and I go to the gas pump, I don't even look. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm working on some stuff on my phone, and then when it's done, I get back in my car. I don't care how much groceries are, right? Because I have an offer and a business that can provide that lifestyle. So to say all that, I say all that to say people aren't staying consistent with things because they aren't tracking it, right? They aren't doing the consistent actions to get the results, and then they get mad at the process. So you say your life is systemized. What are some things that you still hold true that most people may not know that you track, or some things that are like, they see how you are now and they just want the result, right? Everybody just wants what you have, the plaque in the back. But what are the things that you're doing, the real stuff you're doing on a daily basis to stay consistent so that you can perform at the highest level?
That's a deep question. This is a deep question. Well, to answer it, the main thing that I track is the mathematics behind the business. And that right now is the paid ads acquisition system. All right. So that's like the main thing that I'm tracking, and just being deadly clear. What is it costing us to get a customer? And then how can we maximize the value of that customer? Okay. In terms of the raw math, money out, money in equation. Right. So that's an obvious one that we should all be tracking. And that aside, the only thing that I track at the moment is I mean, you could call it tracking. I track my goals, right? And I track my goals using the alchemy of self document, goal by goal, right? In order of, the next goal to achieve, the one after that, the one after that. And I've been doing that for a few years since I joined Quantum in the first place, which is where I learned that, right? In the first place. But other than that, it's just, I mean, the business that I own and operate right now, build, grow, and exit.com, it's a pretty simple business. It's largely driven by organic traffic, YouTube videos primarily, 90% YouTube videos, 10% book funnel ads. It's a very lean business. Me, two closers, a data assistant. That's it.
Mm. No appointment setters, not all that crazy
Nah,
scale stuff. So
nah.
your YouTube videos goes directly to the funnel, or it goes directly to just book a call?
Yeah, so the YouTube videos go to the VSL page and then to book a call and then straight on a call. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I seen that. That's that I am William Brown. Who is Brown? Yeah, that's a really good, because it's very lean and sleek, and it's very simple, so people can just go right to it, not opting in like all this crazy stuff. It's like, here's who
Yeah.
I am, and this is who I'm working with. Okay, perfect. So I'm curious to know how you feel about the state of the coaching high ticket space that we're in right now, because there's two schools of thought. One is that, right, like high ticket is dying and the market is so saturated that it's hard to get clients high ticket now. And then there's like, well, it's really come down to who the best is, and the best is taking most of the clients, and it's the results, and people are looking for the best of the best now. So if you were using marketing before and it wasn't working, like now people are like, dude, you got to really be on your A game. So I'm curious on what your thoughts are on the state of the space that we're in.
I am going to sound like such a dick when I say this, but I think it's easy. I mean, business has never been easier for us. It's never been more fun for us. We did 364,000 cash collected last month, me and two reps, barely any ads. It's just it's a piece of cake when things are built properly. And even with the clients that we work with, every single client sells high ticket. No client is struggling to get clients if they want them. So I think it's just look, you could say that getting fit is hard or getting fit is easy. Well, it's hard if you don't know what you're doing. It's easy if you do know what you're doing and you do what you're meant to do
Yes.
and you stay patient. You could say, like, I don't know, like buying an apartment is hard. Buying an apartment is easy. Well, if you know what you want, you're clear on what you want, you've outlined your budget, well, then it's easy. And if you don't know what you want and you don't know your budget and you're all unsure and you have no plan, it's hard. Business is just the same. If you're
Yeah.
clear on what you want, you know your numbers, you know your math, you know your budget, you have a good offer, it's well priced, you got solid deliverables, you're in a good market, and everything's built correctly. It's easy. It's an absolute piece of cake to make money in this industry. It's a joke how easy it is.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about that? That is why you always want to like get into masterminds and be at the highest level. Because even if you don't think that getting clients is easy, you want to get around people that believe that it is easy and learn from them. And sometimes you got to adopt that mindset, which is so funny. And when you made the analogy, so first of all, I know people were just like, it raised the hairs on the back of their neck when you said getting clients is easy. And they're going to be watching this like, dude, I'm struggling to get my clients, and every single month I'm running ads and it's not profitable, and I'm creating YouTube videos and not getting any views. But then the other thing is when you say it's just like fitness, right? And so if you right, because I just came from the gym also, which I was like, oh man, that just made so much sense, right? If you're not tracking your macros, if you're not consistently going, right, if you're eating like crap after you get done working out, then it's like you just waste your time. And so again, for some people fitness is easy, and for some people it's hard. And again, it comes down to if you're working on something and it's not working, then you're working on the wrong thing.
Yeah, I really like the fitness example because it just makes it a bit more tangible, because business sometimes can feel a little bit intangible. Like, what is an offer? How do you make it and decide on it and word it and stuff? What's the right price to charge? How do you get your ads working? It can feel a bit intangible, but fitness is like, well, how many calories are you putting in? How many are you burning? How often are you working out? What workouts are you doing? On and on. Fitness is quite a tangible, trackable thing, but business can be as well. I mean, one of the main things that we help clients with is they come to us and their paid ads aren't working. And I say to them, tell me your unit economics. And they'll say, what's that? What do you mean? And I'm like, that's a bad start. And I'm like, show me your ad tracking spreadsheet. And they're like, I don't have one. I'm like, come on, it's these things that are wrong. If you don't know your unit economics, if you're not tracking your data, and this is not just paid ads, but it's organic as well, then it's just never going to work. That's like going to the gym every now and again and randomly eating and then not eating. And it's just a mess. You're not going to get results if it's a mess. So you've got to clean things up. And this is, again, it's one of the first things that we do with a lot of clients is just bloody clean everything up, start from scratch, do things properly, and then it's not hard, and then it's easy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point to segue into is right. So you work with a ton of clients, a lot of people in the high ticket coaching space. What are like the one or two to three things that when people come to you, problems that they have in their business besides the tracking, right? Like what are some other problems that entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants are having, right? And they're stuck, and then they come with you and you help them work through it, and they kind of break through.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we work with three kinds of people, right? There's a reason that the company is called build, grow, and exit.com. It's because we help people that are new to build from scratch, or people that are already doing it to grow, or people that want to sell to exit. So build, grow, exit. Those are the three things that we help people with, right? Now, if I had to name three most common problems, we were talking about a guy earlier. I won't say his name, because I don't have his permission, but he's quite a common style of client. So he's doing 50, 60, 70K a month, but it's quite a mess. Again, he doesn't know his numbers, doesn't know his unit economics, doesn't know what funnel to build, or whether his current funnel is even good enough to get him to the scale that he wants. He just didn't know that, flat out didn't know that. Another common problem is people don't understand the math behind running ads. Like, you've just got to acquire a customer for less than your price and then maximize the long-term value by having recurring elements a back end element. We've got a guest joining us on this podcast, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, my daughter Ava and the nanny. It's all good. It's fine. Yes, my nanny's getting Ava.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Nah, awesome. So,
It's
so that's yeah. So sorry, just to refocus. I've
it's
completely
real life,
lost
right?
myself.
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. The nanny's watching my daughter
Yeah,
so I can get work done, baby.
it's good to keep it real. It's good to keep it real when these things happen.
For
Dude,
sure.
another very common thing is
Well, hold on.
people.
Let's slow back down because I kind of know the situation, and I think that this is one of the things that's happening. The new generation doesn't really understand the fundamentals of like a BSL, right? Like the anybody that's like 20 to 25, they don't even know like how a VSL thing works. And I'm like, dude, I've
Hmm,
learned so much about Facebook ads and VSL from just running it and tracking it so much. I can build that thing with my eyes closed. And I can, if you just tell me what your numbers are, remember just being on quantum calls where we're just Sam's just asking questions about the metrics, and he didn't even have to look at anything. He just asked you, just asking what the numbers are, and he just kind of tells you from doing that. It's like, oh, I already know what your problem is
yeah,
from listening to the numbers. And I feel like most people don't really know how to set up a VSL properly, how to understand it. But then once they do get it working, they don't know how to troubleshoot it to fix the problems too. And so that just comes down to the client
yeah,
acquisition systems that most people think they have one, but they're doing IG growth funnel thing or something like that, right?
yeah.
And the problem with that is you can only get like 5 to 7 book calls max from that, and then it's done. It's a
Yeah,
very beginner friendly, but once you get there, it's capped, and you like double the budget, and you just still realize you're only getting 5 to 7 calls, and now you got a setter, and you realize like, oh man, when I was doing this by myself at $200 a day, it was working, but now I'm at $500 a day, it's not working. And I had the same conversation with that person. I was like, you need to learn how to do a VSL in order to get this to work. And there's only a few people, and they all came from this one group that have it mastered.
yeah, dude. That really rings home for me because I onboarded a new client this afternoon, and we got on a call. He brought his data, and for once, he actually had ad data. And we pulled up the spreadsheet, and I said to him, "So what's the problem?" Right? And he said, "Well, I don't know the problem. Like, I'm hoping you can tell me the problem." And the problem to me was obvious, right? So he had a very high cost per call. He had a very high cost per lead, but he didn't know why. And the reason why was because his click-through rate was so low. So the bottleneck was the ads, was the click-through rate, was the reception of them, right? But his problem was he didn't know the problem, right? And I also had another guy actually just signed up today after a conversation with me earlier. And we had a quick call, and I said to him, "Look, what's your problem?" And he literally said, "I don't know the problem. That is the problem. I don't know what's wrong. I don't understand why I'm not getting clients from the ads and the organic side of things." So a lot of people's problem is they don't even know the problem. That's the big struggle.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes it really just comes down to they didn't get clear before they just start. Like everybody just thinks paid ads is going to solve the problem, but sometimes you don't have the right messaging in the first place. Like you like it's unclear what you do and what problem that you solve. And so it comes down to sometimes it's the messaging or the VSL sucks and that process, and then really it's the ads. It's like, man, your ads aren't getting the click through rate. And it's so funny because we can just nerd out on the metrics, right? Because Sam knew them to a T. It's like
Yeah.
I know every metric that influences everything, and everybody just picks one metric, like the cost per acquisition, and they just focus on that one. But every metric influences the other. And I know that you know from the beginning to the end, right? How they all influence each other. So when they're broke, that's how we fixed it. Because that's all we talked about, right?
Dude, mate, exactly. I mean, these businesses, it's really just math. And there's a whole section on this in my book. This is why I wrote my book in the first place, right? Is because I just wanted to remove the emotion, remove the lack of knowledge and the struggles, like we were just talking about, and just give people an instruction manual. Like my book is basically an instruction manual. You just read it, you do what it tells you to do, and if you do it all, like you can't help but make money. You know, that's why I even wrote the bloody thing.
Right, for sure. So let's dive into that. So let's talk about the book. What made you write the book? What inspired you to write the book? How long did it take you to write the book? And when you're going through writing a book like that, I know it's like, man, is this even like I put in a lot of time and effort into this? People gonna like it? What was that whole journey like? And then I see you always posting stuff. Like, what has been some of the feedback that you've gotten since your book has been released?
Yeah, sure. Well, there's kind of two parts to that question, like how and why did I write it? Here's the thing. I've been reading books since I was really young, right? And I've always loved reading, and it kind of selfishly, I always wanted to have my own book. So largely it was like a passion project for me first, and it's kind of a business asset second, or it's become a business asset essentially. So I started writing the book. It took a year and a half of work to actually write the thing. It took a very long time to write the book, just slowly and steadily along the way. Oh, our guests are joining again. So it's kind of passion pursuit, enjoy writing it, and I kind of wanted it. I wanted to do it for myself,
Right.
and also I waited a long, 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 long time because I was going to do a book back when I was a professional musician, but I stopped myself because I thought I'm just not big enough and good enough to do one yet. So after I'd built the last business and after I'd sold the last business, which was like the icing on the cake for me, it just felt right to finally finish the book and get it out there and just document and share everything that I've ever learned from actually doing it all. So on
Right.
the one hand, it was a bit of a selfish passion pursuit, but also to just share everything that I've ever learned. And on the other hand, now it's a great business asset because we
Yeah.
run ads to it, and I love running ads to it because I have to prove myself, or I get to prove myself to people before they come into the coaching program or the mastermind. So I get to over deliver through the book and blow people's minds. And then when they see the quality and depth of it, they often come into the coaching program thereafter. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah. And so people are like, man, should I write the book? And I know I remember because we were like, Russell Brunson had the most incredible free offer book funnel back then. And Sam was like, don't write a freaking book. Like, dial in the ads, dial in your funnel and focus on the metrics. So when did you just like, okay, I need to get this out? Like, did you wake up one day? Was it just like, you at the gym? Like, what was the moment that was like, dude, I have this information that I need to get out to people and I want to go on this 1.5 year journey, not knowing it's going to take 1.5 years to even do something like that?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So I started writing it about 2 years ago now from today. And I was in no rush. I enjoyed writing it. I kept learning along the way and changing things around and adding things. And I thought, I don't care how long this book takes to write. I'm going to enjoy the process. And when I eventually feel like it's good enough and it's finished, when that point comes, I'll put it out. So I didn't have an end game. I didn't have a release date, anything kind of like that. It was a passion project, and I put it on my Alchemy of Self document as a goal. God, 3-4 years ago,
Uh,
longer than that, right? So it was always
yeah.
there. It was always on the vision board as a goal, and I was always like,
Yeah.
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, so now that you said it, I'm thinking about another thing. It's like, since when you started writing the book, alexhormozi got like white hot. So then $100 million offers come out and then $100 million leads. So shit, when did you decide, like, when am I going to drop my book? Because the wave, the internet for those two books was
Yeah.
in that moment. And I'm just thinking about like in the music industry, like sometimes Drake won't drop it, Taylor Swift's dropping, he'll wait a week or so. Like, did you have to go through any of that with like sitting on the book?
Well, I promised myself I wouldn't release the book until I'd sold the last company, right? So I wanted to like close off that chapter and then release the book to start the next chapter, right? But with that said, because after I'd sold the last business, I had millions in cash, millions of real estate bought with cash. I could effectively retire forever. I didn't care whether the book did well or not. I honestly did not care at all. Just like the YouTube, I do not care whether people watch it, whether people subscribe. I hope that they do, and I don't just make the videos for nothing, but it is fun. The book, was fun, not to make money. The YouTube, it's fun, not to make money. And surprise, surprise, that's when you make the most money, when you don't even want it. So
Yeah, that's crazy. So most people are trying to get to your level running paid ads. And you said like 80-90% of yours is all from YouTube. Like, and I'm sure you're a data person, so you're looking at this. What kind of attribution do you give to the success that you have for your videos? Because again, you're not like writing scripts and it's not like highly edited content. It's so funny because it's very pure, like Sam Ovens videos, where you remember you were waiting for that video to drop, Sam Ovens or whatever you was doing. Like, bro, we just locked in on his about mindset and concepts and business and skill, mess, and debt. You know what I mean? And going back and looking at that. So what's kind of made your YouTube channel so valuable where it's just printing clients for you?
well, a lot of people have asked me this. A lot of people say to me, Will, what's your strategy? Like, how have you grown so fast? Because I've gone from 0 to almost 60,000 subscribers in about 7 months with no plan. I don't plan the videos. I don't script the videos. I just think of titles. And when I think of a title, I make a video and just hit record, talk, stop record, schedule. So truthfully, there is no strategy. There is no plan. But
The strategy is that there is no strategy.
well, this is what I said to one of my clients, this guy, Charlie Morgan. So this guy, he WhatsApped me one day and he said, Will, what's the strategy? And I said, the strategy is there is no fucking strategy. But dude, I've got to share a story with you because it's a crazy story. So after I sold my last business, right, I did not want a team. I did not want a big business. I didn't want to run paid ads. I just wanted to keep it just me, no team, and just do a bit of consulting. I thought, I'll get a few clients, make 20, 30K a month cash and just chill for a year or two and just like stop working so hard. So I started making YouTube videos, right? And obviously I had my sales call calendar in the description. And dude, I was getting like 2-3 calls a week, like nothing at this time. And I also kind of didn't want it as well. So my sales call calendar was set fully open. It was set Monday to Sunday, like 9 to 9, right? Because I was getting no calls, so it didn't really matter. And then one day I uploaded this video. I think it was called like how I'd make 10K a month at ASAP or something like that, right? I uploaded it. My videos were getting barely any views. The next morning, right, like 14 hours later after uploading that thing, dude, I had like honestly about 35 sales calls booked in less than a day, right? It was unbelievable, right? Because the video,
You waking up confused as hell, like what just happened?
yeah, and this was my first ever like big video, a successful video. It's got 500,000 views now in about 5 months. But yeah, dude, like I just uploaded the video. I had no plan. I had no strategy. I didn't think it would do very well or get many views. And it got like, I don't know, 15,000 views the first day. And then like it was at 35, 40,000 views the next day and then 80,000 views. And it just went fucking crazy. And I had so many sales calls that booked us hundreds of sales calls, man, from that one video. And then I had to hire a sales rep to help with the volume, right? Because my calendar was rock solid full for weeks, like every single day, rock solid full. And then that's when the business started kind of building itself and taking off, really. So that was kind of the start. But yeah, you're completely right. Even to this day, 90% of the calls are organic.
Yeah, for sure. So you don't really care about making money off the videos. You're just making the videos. But like in your mind, what's the goal? Like, okay, I figured out this title. Like, what's the goal that you have for the video? Like, what's the purpose of even doing the videos in the first place? I know they're taking off and they're good, but like in your mind, what are you trying to do when you turn the camera on and press record?
Just to put this into context, right? I've been making videos since I was about 13 years old. I used to make skateboard videos with my friends. I used to make graffiti videos with my friends. I used to make music videos when I was a musician. So I've always loved filming and editing ever since I was a kid, right? So making the videos, here's something that I've learned, right? When people are unsure what to do with their life, I learned this from a psychologist a few years ago. This psychologist said to me, The things that people should do with their life is what they were doing when they were kids, when they didn't know about money, when they didn't know about life, when you just did shit for no reason, right? I skateboarded
Man.
for no reason. I did graffiti for no reason. I did music for no reason. I did it just because I fucking loved it. I didn't want money. I didn't want fame. I didn't want recognition. I didn't want respect. I just wanted to do it as a human, right? So when I sold the last company, I've been trying to go back and just fucking stop with the money and the fame and the respect and shit. And one of the rawest things that I've ever done with my life, ever since I was young, is make videos for fun, for nothing else,
Dang.
right? So
Dude, that's
there you
so
go.
powerful, man. That's so powerful. You just gave me the chills. You just gave me the chills by saying that, because I got my little kids here, and I learned so much from them because they don't have a care in the world. They're just doing stuff. They're not worried about falling, breaking stuff, getting it messy. If it's right or wrong, if
Yeah,
it's society says you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't say that, if you shouldn't pick that up, if you get in people's personal space, if you talk to strangers, if you do whatever you need to do. And so I've been learning that, and I'm also on that journey right now since so I just moved states, right? And moved into my dream home, built it from the ground up, right? Got a pond in the back. You can't see it because of the lighting, but you know what I mean? I go out there and I walk, and I started doing the same thing with my content online. Is just posting more of the things that I'm doing. And what I realized is that what you're saying is like you got back to things that you love, right? That it was just for the sake of doing them. It's like you love skateboarding, you love you know, the camera. And I got back to that because when you do things that you love, it doesn't feel like work. You get lost in it. Sometimes I'm working on stuff. I'm so passionate. I'm lost in it. My wife's like, hey, you've been in here for all day long, and then I gotta like wake up to take a break or I forget to eat, right? Like I'm in such a flow state. And that's because you're in purpose and you just get back to the things that you love. And I feel
yeah,
like we're so in a rush to make money just so we can make the claims and stuff like that that we lose the purpose, and then we fall short because we burn out trying so hard to impress other people instead of really just doing what we're passionate about. And if you're passionate about it and you love it and you focus on serving and just really sharing what you've done, man, that really comes through to people because you're like, hey, I did this thing. It's cool over here. This worked for me. It did this. Let me show you what I did.
yeah, 100%. I mean, one thing I want to add is there are certain seasons in life, right? And I'm sure there's probably one person that's going to watch this that's thinking, look, forget passions. I need money. I need to sort my life out and get money, maybe move out my parents' place and build a life. And let's not lie, the world is money. If you want to eat food, you need money. If you want to go somewhere, you need money. You need a car, you need petrol, you need a taxi, you need clothes, you need food and water. So, money, I think you need to tick the money box first, right? But when it's ticked, then you can start to kind of work backwards to more what you want to do with your life and what your passions are. So I don't want to detract from those people that are still in the money phase because I've been in the money phase. I built that first company not for fucking love. I built it to get rich,
Yeah.
and I sold it to get even richer. And then I was able to be like, right, money's solved now. What do I want to actually do now? Right. So it can take time to get there, but when you get there, it's a great place to be. And to answer your question, dude, you said, why do you make the videos? We've got a mission statement in my company right now. Make money, have fun, and help people. Those three things, right?
Make money, have fun,
And
and
help
help
people.
people. Mhm.
Yeah. And for me and for my team and for our clients, I think we're all well aligned on that because look, we all want to make more money. Whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter how wealthy you are, we all want to make more money. So that's kind of number one, make money. Have fun. If you're not having fun, it's just not a nice life, man. It's stressful, it's hard, you don't feel good about it. It's just worse. So if you can have fun, good God, does it make things better and easier. So that's the second one, have fun and help people, right? This is where I'm at right now, where it's not so much about the money, it's more about fulfillment specifically, right? And when you truly help people and you are honestly helping with integrity for helping's sake, that's a great energy, man. It's a really, really, really great energy that makes you want to get up in the morning, that makes you want to work even harder, that makes you want to work even longer, and so on and so forth. So make money, have fun, help people. If I'm ticking those 3 boxes, then my life is amazing. And if I'm not, I need to sort it out.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a good transition into as we wrap up the podcast, which is absolutely amazing. Man, dropped so much value on this podcast. You know, knowing what you know now and kind of looking back, and this will probably talk to the people that you were just saying, where it's like, hey, they're watching this, like, dude, I need to make freaking money now. Screw your passion. But like knowing what you know now, you know, trying to get to that first 10K, 20K, even 30K per month, right? So that you can stop stressing about money and really uncover, you know, what truly your purpose is. Because the truth is like, until you get out of survival mode, you think that the only thing that you need to do is make money. But the truth is, once you actually don't have to worry about money anymore, you're like, shit, I got so much stuff I need to actually like work on. Like the money has just been drowning out all the other things that you need to work on in your life. But the truth is, once the money's gone, it's quiet. And you're like, crap. Well, I need to get to the gym. My relationships are terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My emotions are up and down, like all these other things. So it really just kind of starts right then for you, just like working on the best version of yourself, which is probably what people will be watching this is, you know, they're trying to up level. So knowing what you know now, what are some things that the young viewers trying to get to their first 10K, 20K, 30K per month, right? Like, what would you say to them as we wrap up this podcast?
Yeah, for sure. Well, here's the truth. You don't need to love what you're doing to make 10, 20, 30K. To make that amount of money, and I've helped brand new beginners with nothing, no offer to get there in 8, 10, 12 weeks. And I've done this multiple times. This is all that you've got to do. Find a problem to solve that's valuable for somebody, right? That will give you money in return for the solution. So this is how my first business started. I learned to trade, right? And then people out there could not trade. They were stuck, they were struggling, right? And this is a high value problem because there's money on the line. There's a lot of money on the line in many cases. I've solved it. They haven't. They give me money for my knowledge, right? So solve a problem. Ideally, solve a big problem for someone with money. If you can do that, you're going to very quickly find product market fit. And then all you've got to do is get the eyeballs of people with the problem on you with the solution, right? In other words, it's called traffic. Get traffic from your ideal prospects to you, show them the solution through a sales process, a VSL, a webinar, whether it's organic traffic, paid traffic, whatever it is, put it in a sales process. Ideally, get them on the phone, clearly explain how you can help them, and get them closed at a high ticket price, 3, 4, 5K. If you just do that, you will not be able to help but to make 10, 20, 30K. It's really that easy. You just got to do those elements well. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. So that's the business side of like the technical, tactical things of what they need to do. But what about the mental side where, you know, you went out and started doing the work and guess what? You ran out to the marketplace, you had a couple sales calls, nobody showed up, or the people that you talked to weren't a good fit, your marketing isn't working, like you're doing stuff, but you don't really feel like you're making, you know, a step forward, and you're watching these videos like, okay, I'm going to watch this video of William telling me what to do and I'm going to go do it, and it doesn't work. How do you show up every single day consistently so that you can actually get that result? Because it's not just doing it once, right? Like that's the thing, is you got to show up every single day, right? You got to be at a high level. You got to be consistent. So what do you say about that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, like you just said, what we've covered there is like the logistical side of things to do. But even with that stuff in place, like the guy that I mentioned earlier, it can still fall apart. You can still self-sabotage. You can still not reach the heights that you want. And that's usually because you are not the person yet that's capable of doing it all and holding it together. And that's you, your beliefs, right? Who you are, your goals, your plan. It's quite deep stuff. But if I could give some advice, I made a video on this recently called something like, I lied to myself about being rich until it came true. I think that's the title of the video on my YouTube. So maybe go and watch that. But basically, seriously, lie to yourself about who you will be, right? So write down who you are, right? So where do you live? What do you do with your days? What clothes do you wear? How much do you make a month? What level of wealth are you at? Build your dream character of who you want to be in 1, 2, 3 years, maybe 5 years, and then brainwash yourself to be that person. And the way you do that is you literally write a story of who that person is. Will lives in Dubai. He makes 300 grand a month. He owns his apartment outright, which is worth $3 million. You just write it all out, right? And just read it to yourself every day and pretend it's true. Lie to yourself. Seriously, brainwash yourself, and it will all start to come to you because you'll think that you have it. And when you think that you have it, you start to get it. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds too good to be true, but please, please trust me, it's true. And that's how I've got to where I am today. Lie to myself and then do the work. If you do that, you'll get
Yeah,
there.
for sure. Yeah, so you got to do the mindset, but then you got to put the work in, and they both go hand in hand. And I know it may sound woo to the person that's just out there hustling and trying to get it, but I'm telling you, what he just gave you is the thing that most people overlook, and they come back a year later and they're watching this video again, trying to figure out where they messed up, right? Where the year's gone, and that works. I mean, if there was one thing that was a transformational action that I took every single day to take me from waiting tables, being a struggling broke entrepreneur from zero, a negative $90 in my bank account, to tens of millions of dollars. It was the mindset of reading that manifesto, writing it down, and doing that every single day. Because no matter what was going on in my mind, I spoke these things into existence. And so that gave me confidence to take action, and I stay consistent with it every single day. Man, that's so, so good. Well, Will, man, this has been absolutely incredible. I mean, I could sit here for hours talking, but I know you got your calendar's probably full of people from the last YouTube video that you watched that you got to do some sales calls, and I got a coaching call. But man, where can people find you online if they want to get the book, right? What's the best way to communicate with you if they see this video and they're like, man, this guy's incredible, right? Or, what's your handle on socials?
Yeah, for sure. So the best place to start is the book. You can get the paperback or the hardback or the audio book from Amazon, or you can get the ebook and some bonuses from howto10million.com/book. Or if you want to check me out on YouTube, search William Brown, Instagram, William Brown. Those are the main two channels. Go and watch some YouTube videos and soak up some value over there.
For sure. Well, guys, I hope this was valuable for you. I definitely enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next Brand Blueprint podcast. Follow him at William Brown. Go to his YouTube channel, howto10million.com, and get the book. We'll see you in the next podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Rock and roll, man. Dude, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate that.
It's so funny because it just takes you back to like the essence, the purity of it. Like when you said the child thing, I felt like I was a child as an entrepreneur. And we are so lucky that we had the purest mastermind to be in. It was so pure because everybody else, the new stuff, the gimmicky crap, like all of this stuff, these young entrepreneurs that have only made $1 million trying to teach people how to make $100,000 a month, they don't know anything past what they've taught, right? And so I just see it even with the what's his name, right? It's like he learned from a guy that was like his marketing was really good. I'm like, well, that thing is you're at the capacity of it, and he's trying to figure out his move, which is why he's doing what he's doing. And it's like now you don't know where to go. And we text back and forth. I'm like, man, you've got to have a scalable client acquisition system if you want to get to that next level. And it's really that simple. Nothing else. You can't rework that funnel. You can't put more ads to it. It's like that whole model is just broken.
Exactly, mate. Dude, hopefully that's valuable for people that watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Good.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you, man? How can I support you, bro? Like I watch your content and everything. I feel like just you reaching out, this was so good. I want to stay connected because it's so hard to find people that are just really like high level and doing good stuff in their business. Are you part of any other masterminds or anything like that? Like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, do you know who Dan Bolton is?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, number one, mate, if you watch my YouTube videos, you're supporting me already, which I really, really appreciate that, by the way. I'm going to Dan's mastermind in Bali
Bali, yeah.
this weekend, which should be fun. But other than that, It's just my mastermind with David Dre, you know, that we do every 6 months.
Oh yeah, so one of David Dre's cousins, Sonia, was on my team for a little bit. It's such a small world. Yeah,
Nice.
Sonia, she was on my team, and then I remember Dan being on those calls too.
Yeah.
Because I know he got inspired being from New Zealand and stuff with Sam, so I know he was rocking and rolling. And then the person that you were talking about, he was a mentee of Dan also, and that's how he was. That's how he learned the social funnel and stuff. What's his name
Ah.
from Grayson Paulson. That's who he learned his stuff from. So he came in because I had told him, I was like, dude, like I'm the only one in the space that you're in and you're teaching people that's at a high level. When I started, it was Alberto and Mitch,
Yeah.
right? And they've kind of faded to sunset. So I'm the only one still trying to do what you're doing. So, I told him, I was like, you got to switch to the VSL. I was like, I'm the only one that has done it consistently since 2018 or 19, dude. I was like, you can't do it with that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of all trickle down, isn't it? In a way, like someone learns something and they teach it to some people, and they teach it to other people, and eventually it kind of reaches everyone, doesn't it? So it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome, brother. Well, hey, man, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you reaching out. This was absolutely incredible. It kind of took me back down memory lane to just
Yeah,
like remember how far we have come. It's been dope, bro.
100%. Well, dude, well done on the new house. It looks absolutely amazing. And let me know if I can ever help with anything, mate. Let's get this podcast out there.
Awesome. All right, brother. Hey, man, thanks so much. God bless.
Take care, bud. See you soon. Bye for now.